7-year-old Emma sat on a small wooden stool, her feet dangling just above the ground, as she arranged her modest lemonade stand. It wasn't much a folding table covered in a faded checkered cloth, a pitcher of lemonade sweating in the heat, and a small pile of plastic cups stacked neatly to the side. But the centerpiece was her handmade sign, bright and bold, reading "Lemonade for Hope." Emma's determination showed in every detail, from adjusting her sign to ensure it was visible from the street, to the radiant smile she offered every passing car. But unlike other kids selling lemonade for toys or amusement park trips, Emma had a far more urgent reason. She was raising money for her own chemotherapy treatments. Her mother, Claire, watched from the porch, her heart full of mixed emotions, pride in her daughter's strength, and sorrow for the unfairness of it all. Emma's once golden hair was now cropped short from the toll of treatment, but her bright brown eyes shone with a determination far beyond her years. A jogger passed by, glancing at the stand before offering a quick wave. Her first customer was Mrs. Henderson, a neighbor with a cane. "How much for a cup, sweetheart?" she asked warmly. "$1, Emma answered, flashing a grin. Mrs. Henderson handed over a $10 bill and said, "Keep the change." She patted Emma's hand before heading back home. As the day went on, more neighbors stopped by. Some bought lemonade, others left donations in the jar labeled donations. Every interaction brought fresh encouragement, but Emma's goal still felt distant. However, this was the day everything would change. Little did Emma know, someone extraordinary was about to enter her life and transform her lemonade stand into a symbol of hope. Emma's journey begins. A year ago, Emma was the picture of health, a lively little girl who ran barefoot through the yard, climbed trees, and rode her pink bike with fluttering tassels. She was the type of child whose laughter filled any room, her imagination unlimited as she painted whimsical scenes on scraps of paper. But everything changed when she began to feel unwell. What started as tiredness after bike rides and frequent naps escalated into bruises that appeared without cause. And then came the fever, low at first, but soon spiking higher and lingering. Emma's appetite shrank, and she began losing weight at an alarming rate. When Claire noticed Emma struggling to lift her art supplies, she knew something was wrong. Despite reassurances from her husband, Brian, that Emma might just be growing, Claire's worry grew. After a series of tests and a gut-wrenching wait, the doctor's words confirmed their deepest fears. "Emma has leukemia." The weight of those words struck Claire like a physical blow. Emma didn't fully understand the gravity of the situation, but she could tell something was terribly wrong. Her parents tried to explain as best they could, but the fear and uncertainty were palpable. Emma wasn't discouraged. She continued to wave at cars, adjust her sign, and pour lemonade, holding onto the belief that every little bit would help. Her perseverance paid off when, unexpectedly, someone extraordinary walked into her life, Clint Eastwood. As the day wore on, a car slowed and came to a stop in front of Emma's stand. To her surprise, Clint Eastwood, the legendary actor and director, stepped out. He smiled at Emma, acknowledging her sign with a gentle nod. "Lemonade for Hope, huh?" Clint said with a warm voice. "I'd say that's a very good cause." Emma beamed up at him, too excited to even speak. Clint crouched down to her level, admiring her setup. He asked her how much for a cup of lemonade, and Emma proudly replied, $1. He handed her a $100 bill, much more than the price of a drink, and told her, "Keep the change. This is for you." Emma's eyes widened, and for a moment, she didn't know how to respond. But then, with a beaming smile, she thanked him. Clint Eastwood didn't just buy lemonade. He made a generous donation and inspired many others who had been watching to do the same. By the end of the day, Emma's lemonade stand had raised far more money than she had ever imagined. Word spread quickly through the neighborhood, and before long, people were lining up to support her. Emma's journey from a simple lemonade stand to receiving help from an iconic figure showed that even the smallest acts of hope could lead to big changes. Her story became one of inspiration, showing everyone that no matter how tough the fight, determination and kindness could make the difference. What started as a little girl's brave effort to help herself ended up inspiring a whole community, proving that hope and kindness really can change the world.